Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. R. Viduthalai, Senior Advocate, Member, Bar Council, to felicitate the new entrants. Please, sir.
My Lord, the Acting Chief Justice of this High Court, Mr. Justice T. Raja, Mrs. Justice Dharani, Mr. P.S. Amalraj, Chairman, Bar Council of Tamilnadu and Puducherry, Mr. Neelagandan, Additional Advocate General for the State of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Balu, Chairman, Enrollment Committee, Mrs. Priscilla Pandian and Saravanan, members of the Enrollment Committee, the other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, the newly enrolled lawyers, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the newly enrolled lawyers have commenced a long journey. It is perhaps the journey of your lifetime. It's going to be very long and long-winding. As a person who had considerably covered a particular distance in this journey, I would like to give you some clues. I won't say tips because TIPS is an acronym which denotes to induce prompt service. That's for the waiters in the hotel and for other service providers. But I would like to give you some clues which you have to follow if you want to reach the heights which you desire or which you aim at. There are 4 things in life which every lawyer should imbibe. Why lawyer? Any professional for that matter. The first one is hard work. The hard work is the only certain principle of success. More so for a lawyer. A lawyer must work at least 14 to 16 hours a day if you want to be known as a lawyer in future. Hardworking means work with your senior, learn the nuances of the law, follow him, and follow how he represents the case before the court, how he deals with the client, how he interacts with the client, and then how he behaves with the opposite lawyer and his court manners and court craft inside the court hall. You should be the first person to come to the chambers of the senior and perhaps the last person to leave. Unless you work very hard, you may not be able to cover the distance which you would like to cover. Therefore, of the 4 things which I would like to commend, the first and foremost is hard work. The second one is learning. You know, we are called learned lawyers, which according to me is a misnomer, because we are all learning lawyers. Learning itself is the initial stages of reading. See, in English has got different connotations. Learning, reading, studying. Learning is learning the alphabets in law. Reading is getting to the next stage of knowing what law is. Studying is an in-depth reading of the subject. See, we are not learned lawyers. Maybe we are learning lawyers. We are learners for our lifetime. We have always been learning. We have to be learning. Even today, we are learning in law. Therefore, you have to learn the law. What should I do? What should I learn? See, first and foremost, there are certain fundamental basic laws of the land which every lawyer should have a basic idea about. Say, for example, the Constitution of India. Say, today we are celebrating the Constitution Day, but Constitution is the bedrock of all the laws in the country. First and foremost, you should have a basic idea of the Constitution of India. Number 1. Number 2, contract law. From cradle to grave, every man is governed by the contract. So you must all have a fair idea of what the contract law or the Contract Act says. Constitution, Contract Act, Transfer of Property Act, then family laws and tenancy laws. And I would include Indian Penal Code for the criminal lawyers. So every one of you must have a basic idea or the rudimentary principles concerning this constitutional law, contract law, transfer of property, tenancy law, family law, and the Indian Penal Code. These things are all must read for you. Don't ever forget, unless you read all these things, you would never become a complete lawyer. And these are for the substantive laws. The next one is very important, the procedural laws. Civil Procedure Code, Indian Evidence Act, Criminal Procedure Code, they are the must read in the profession. Unless you learn these three procedural laws, you will not be able to make proper presentation in a court of law. So, as far as learning is concerned, don't forget about these 5 substantial laws and the 3 procedural laws. And as I used to tell persons who are newly enrolled like you, a judgment a day. A judgment a day, you should read any subject of your choice. A judgment a day is desirable, but 200 judgments per year is mandatory. That will expand your horizon of law. So, cultivate the habit of, just like taking coffee every day, cultivate the habit of reading at least 1 judgment per day. That should be a part of your learning process. If you follow these clues, perhaps you could make a mark in the profession. Then comes the third one, dedication. Law is one profession which does not tolerate divided attention. It wants total dedication, total concentration, and absolute undivided attention. Forget about your family life for some time, forget about your social gatherings and social life for some time, and totally forget the social media and going to the electronic gadgets for your pastime. Forget about all these things. Dedicate yourself to acquiring the knowledge of law, at least for the first 10 to 15 years in your profession. This is the third principle. And lastly, after learning, after hard work, learning, dedication, always follow integrity and honesty in all your dealings, whether it is with the clients or with the opposite lawyer or in your presentation in court. Don't ever forget, only those who are following honesty and integrity reach the pinnacle of glory in life. Therefore, these 4 qualities I would like you to consider, and if you think it is worthwhile, kindly follow it. This is with regard to the qualities that you have to imbibe as a lawyer. The next one is avenues. See, in my perception, there are 4 avenues open to a lawyer. One is the academic path. Some of you may become a postgraduate later on, a doctorate, a professor, a lecturer, a professor, and perhaps a principal. You may choose the academic path. There is one path called academic path. The other one is purely professional path. Today I am a lawyer. Tomorrow I will be a well-known lawyer. Day after tomorrow I will be a popular lawyer. Then a senior advocate and an eminent jurist. Purely professional, nothing else. I will die as a lawyer. I will start as a lawyer and die as a lawyer. That is another path. The third one is judicial path. No, I would like to become a part of the judiciary. I'd become a district magistrate or a sub-judge or a high court judge or a district judge or a high court judge or a Supreme Court judge. Mold your career accordingly, according to your own perception, aptitude, ability, and capability. That is the third path, namely the judicial path. And the fourth one is the political path. You can be a lawyer and a politician. As a lawyer, whatever you learn and whatever you desire, that can be implemented when you are affiliated to a particular political party or you are a quasi-politician come lawyer. Take our own P. Chidambaram. He is one of the best-known lawyers in India, and he was also a home minister, finance minister. So he's a politician come lawyer. If you want to be politically affiliated, without sacrificing your knowledge, interest in law, you can practice law, and at the same time, you can have political orientations. So this is the way you have to choose. Any one of the avenues, whichever avenue you choose, you have to consider and follow it. And lastly, it is often said, it is your aptitude that decides your altitude. Your attitude to the profession, your aptitude for learning will ultimately decide the altitude to which you will go in the profession. Therefore, whatever you do it with full-fledged the killer instinct. Then you will come up in life. and one day you will reach the pinnacle of glory. These are my suggestions to you. Kindly consider. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful advice.